Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As we've got a deck profile for you today, we have Ravemon from the match you've just seen earlier in the week. This is my own personal take on Ravemon until we get some changes and stuff later down the pipeline of cards I would like to change, and I'll talk about them when we get to them. So for eggs, we're starting off with 3 of the Pinamons from EX4. The on deletion of delete outside of battle, gain a memory. It is something that is very useful for the deck just to kind of help either reduce the kind of digivolution cost of some cards. Like for example, the BT13 Ravemon's a cost of 4. Sometimes if you get the right setup, you can keep it your turn, and things like that. It's pretty nice. But to go alongside it, we have 2 as Pangumons. So the problem I was finding with the deck upon initial testing is the Chromon that would let you Digivolve from trash. I was constantly seeing it. With no way of setting up a Ravemon in trash, so I decided to get these eggs in to help with that, and there is another card that we'll get to in a bit. So we are running 5 eggs. This is probably the first deck you've seen me run 5 eggs in.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, that way you never miss a thing.
On to rookies. We're running 4 of the EX4 Falcomon. It is our searcher, so we definitely want to max out on this because it's kind of the only search capability the deck really has. So this is our go-to as the one we'd rather be playing. Then we have 3 of the BT13 Falcomons. I've cut this down to 3. To unplay, give one of your Digimon retaliation till the end of your opponent's turn. It's inheritable, the exact same as the BEX4 one, which is on deletion if delete outside of battle. Trash one of your opponent's cards, and as your opponent trashes one of the cards in hand. So not overly useful, but it's nice. We are also running 3 Tsukaimons, just inheritable, on deletion, gain a memory. Doesn't matter if it's in battle, outside of battle, we just gain that memory, so a little bit extra memory gain from it as the primary purpose. If I ever feel in the future I need to, the next card you're about to see in this card will swap places, so this will become a 2 of, and the card that you're about to see will become a 3 of. That card being Structured X6 Gobomon. This will probably get swapped out, honestly, for the new Structured X coming out later this month. Because the Gobomon inheritable of that one is exactly the same, but it's actually got a main effect that if your opponent has a Digimon in play, you can gain a memory, so it's a little bit better. So we're probably going to be swapping these out for them anyway. So this also helps with the idea of getting that Ravemon in trash. If you have the Chromon that Digivolves in the trash, you can declare an attack, draw 1, trash that Ravemon. Chromon, when attacking, effect will go off to then Digivolve to that Ravemon you just trashed. That is it for rookies. On to our champions. We're running 4 of the EX4 Pekmon on Digivolution. If we don't have a Kenai in play, you get to play a Kenai. This is one of our few ways we get to play a Kenai for nothing. So maxing out on it, I very rarely find myself in a situation where I actually get to use it, sadly. But when it comes up, it's very nice. Inheritable, if delete outside battle, your opponent has to discard a card from the hand, hand control going. We are running 3 of the blocker Pekmons from BT13, with the inheritable the exact same as the EX4 one. So this is the card I decided to cut down, because buy 1 for the next card, because I wanted to run 3 of the as card coming in. Try and get used to ratios I'm planning for the future. This could be a card you could max out on if you wish. But I'm just trying to make space for other strategies, and I don't want to get too used to having a playset of blockers for when I eventually do the change. So on to our last champion. We're running 3 Saberdramons. So this is BT3 Saberdramon, inheritable as retaliation. So we can search this because it is a giant bird, so Falcomon can grab it. And which means the Ravemon inheritable, Ravemon needing a bird and stuff, and straight this will count for it and stuff. But eventually, this will get replaced with the promo Saberdramon that is red and purple. It's got retaliation in itself, it's got raid in itself, and then its inheritable is on deletion. You get to add back a red or purple. I don't know if it's Digimon or card, I'll have to really make sure. But I want to run 3 of that because it's also going to give us a bit more control of our trash to actually grab the cards we want back. And I plan to, like I say, run 3 of it. So I'm running 3 of this one in its place, just to try and get used to these ratios. I'm hoping for the deck to see if I can adjust them in any way. So this is why we're running 3 of those. On to the ultimates. this is a very basic one to go through. So we're running 4 of the EX4 Chromon. If you have a purple Tamer in play, this Digimon may Digivolve to a Ravemon from your hand for its Digivolution cost. So this Chromon's inheritable is also if deleted outside of battle, you get to delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. It does come up, it's a very nice one to have. It's almost the exact opposite of our other Chromon though. This one, if you just have a Tamer, this Digimon may Digivolve into a Ravemon from your trash for the Digivolution cost, and if deleted outside of battle, you get to play a level 4 or lower purple Digimon from your trash without paying its cost. So they both have very nice effects, a bit of ball control in different ways, and the Digivolution's nice. Just this one, inside the Ravemon line, I find this Chromon being the BT13 one wants to fight against the rest of the deck, because Ravemon itself initially wants to delete itself, bring itself back at the end of your opponent's turn, and then go from there. So it's not the greatest of keeping itself in the trash, unless your opponent gets over it somehow. But then we've got no other Chromons we want to play, so this one kind of like, none of the decks synergizes with this Chromon specifically. Like, its inheritable is amazing, but just getting the Ravemon trash, hence why we've got the eggs, hence why we've got the Gobblemons. So, and they have been helping out in testing. So, there's our 8 ultimates that we're running. On to Megas. I personally run 4 of the EX4 Ravemon, just the cost of 3. It's overall a little bit better. For me anyway, because like if you got your memory setter, you can Digivolve to this, kind of keep turns going and stuff. End of attack gets deleted, and then kind of almost doing double security check a lot of the times, because end of attack it deletes itself if it's got a bird or Avion in the trait, so it's Digivolution cards. Then if your opponent has 8 more cards in their hand, you get to they have to trash one, and then after the trashing, if they have 7 or fewer, they add the top card of the security to their hand, so you can almost get a double check with this. Jamming is nice because then it gets to delete itself, which means it's not deleted inside a battle. How it goes. We're running 2 of the BT13 as Ravemons. I have thought about bumping this one to 3 and bumping the other one down to 3. I just feel at the same time, this one kind of, once again, a bit weird, because when you read its effect, it's clear what it wants to do. So it's like at the end of your turn, it gets to delete itself, and then on deletion you have to play a Falcomon or a Kenai from your trash or hand without paying its cost. So this clearly wants to go with your burst mode. That's what the card screams to me. It's like end of turn effect, not an end of attack effect. You get to play a Kenai that you've probably just bounced to go to burst mode, but then it's Digivolution cost of 4. This is the part that kind of counters everything the card wants to do, for me personally anyway, like how I feel about it. Where if you've only got your memory setter, which a lot of times that's all people will ever let you have, they'll set you below your memory setter, so you go to your memory setter, which is then annoying because then all the other stuff, cards you got to gain memory, can't really work because they're only going to put you to your memory setter because they go out before it. So most of the time, you're probably going to be putting your opponent to 1, triggering the end of turn, deleting it, gaining a memory back from Pinamon or maybe even the Sukaimon to then do stuff. When what this wants, it wants to stick on the field for Digivolution to then go into burst mode. To the end of the turn, burst mode de-digivolves itself, this deletes itself, then you do stuff to keep it your turn, put the Kenai stuff back in play. Hence why we're only running this at 2 of. It's like one of the most counterproductive things. Also, it's got no jamming, which is fair. It's got 12,000. We can make it 13 with our egg. But yeah. On the subject of burst modes of level 7s though, we are running 2 burst modes. This card, I feel, comes up very handy for the deck. It's very useful. Be able to look at your opponent's hand, seeing what they're planning, what the strategy is, and then going from there and just kind of taking out key pieces or setting up its when attacking effect. And it's also like a nice way of like trash and security as well. But yeah, so the when attacking, put a Digimon card from your opponent's trash to the bottom and delete all cards on your opponent's side of the field with the same name. It's very nice. But also it's when Digivolve, like I said before, we can look at your hand, and then if you want 7 or fewer afterwards, yeah, top card of security gets added to your hand, so it's almost like a trash effect on Digivolution. It's very nice. We are running 1 over level 7. Because the deck is mostly purple, well, I say mostly, it is all purple, we are running DefX. It doesn't make sense in this because we're not having to rely on our opponent to a swarmy board of any kind. So we don't have to be like, oh, you've got like 6 cards, play for 2, or anything like that. It's like we can just Digivolve into this if we feel like we need to, and we can grab it with purple memory boots, which we are running in the deck. We'll get to that in a bit. So it's just a nice card to put in here. You could just run a third burst mode if you wish. I just had the Defx kind of like, I do have the third burst mode, but I also had the Defx just laying around. I was like, you know what, if I'm going to put it in the deck, I feel like this is going to be the deck I'm going to put it in. It's either that, or I'm going to have to find a black deck to put it in, because I want a deck that I can search out in. As it's not as a staple as it used to be, so it's just, I feel like it's got its place in the cards decks that can search it now, so that you can also Digivolve into it if need be. That is it for our Digimon. Now on to our Tamers. We're running 3 of the memory set of Kenai from EX4. So if you put a 2 or less, go to 3. And if one of your purple Digimon Ravemon name or has Bird or Eevee on its traits deleted, you can spend this Tamer, draw a card. That's all turns. So if your opponent deletes something by battle, so it does count for battle, which is very nice as well. But by battle, by card effect or anything like that, you just spend this, draw a card, as get some resources back. It's very nice. Then we are running 2 of the BT13 Kenai. So on play, your opponent may trash a Tamer or an option card. If they don't, gain 1 memory, draw 1 card. This is a May effect, so even if they've got a Tamer or option, they can choose not to. They're just going to give you a draw and a memory. And then during your opponent's turn, if a Digimon's played by an effect, spend this Tamer to get a memory. This is where it kind of counteracts with the Ravemon and the memory setter again, from what I was saying about the BT13 one. Whereas if you've got the memory setter and playing this and say, okay, end of turn, Ravemon comes back, but you've put me at 2. And then I tap this, I'm going to go to 3. Well, I've just put myself in the memory setter because it's the end of your turn, it's not starting my turn yet. The memory setter hasn't had a chance to kick in. We are playing 2 BS ST6 mats. I was running Analog Youth in this place, but then one of the Chromons needing a purple Tamer, specifically a purple Tamer, I was like, I wanted to look for other options. So, Matt is a play cost 2 like Analog Youth, and I gain a memory when all my Digimon is deleted like Analog Youth. I just don't get to hatch an egg, and I don't get to initial search and stuff. So I feel like this is going to work better for this works better for me because it's another purple Tamer I can guarantee get on the board. Kind of make sure my Chromons are always live with their when attacking effects. On to option cards, we are running 2, as I call it, Celestial Blade, as is what was known in the English. I don't know why we went for its Japanese name. So this one is by deleting one of your opponent's Digimon. Sorry, deleting one of your Digimon, you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon whose level is equal to or less than the one I choose. If the Digimon I delete was a Ravemon, then I can bring it back during the end of my opponent's turn as I can bring back a Ravemon specifically. And its inheritable is delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. So it is very easy, just like Hades Force, it is very easy to bypass this in security if they're worried about checking. So in Hades Force, you swing with your highest, and then you swing with all your little guys afterwards, because Hades Force is going to delete the highest play cost, highest level. This can delete the lowest level. So, and it's only 1. So if you swing with your little guys first, like, yeah, they've got more chance of kind of getting swing with big DP. But even then, like, if they live, at that point you've got a little guy. So even if the big guy hits into this and you've still got another big guy, so I've got to delete the little guy that's already swung. So it's very easy to work around this in security if you just kind of know what you're doing with it. It also, its effect comes up a few times. And for our last cards, we're running 2 purple memory boosts. Get that little extra search power going in because the deck doesn't have a whole lot. This will probably end up getting swapped when we eventually get them for the purple training card, to be honest with you, as I feel like the training cards are just a whole lot better, and it'll also kind of help a bit more with the Ravemon as well. Like, this gives search, but the training also gives search, and there's training we can grab a Tamer if we want and stuff. So pretty much anything in the deck is going to be accessible at that point. So this has been Ravemon Burst Mode. I hope you've all enjoyed it. If you haven't seen the match already, go and check it out. I'm sure it was a good one. I'll see you all later in the month for another deck profile and for more match videos next month. Till then, adios.